Harris. Welcome in to the firm of Harris and Meringue. Patrick Harris with you, yours truly. That's my soulmate over there, Casey Smith on the ones and twos. No Meringue today. He's over at Hoop Summit again. With the kids playing basketball. They're playing basketball. Nice little happy Friday. Thanks for being a part of our day. Stoked to have you a part of ours. I'm very ready for this weekend. I'm very ready for today, honestly. Today looks like a nice day. Dude, I don't mean to keep harping on this, but my lawn after yesterday was looking choice. Very choice. And Casey, I have a question to ask you. So I'm doing yard work yesterday. I got the pods in, mowing the lawn. Lawnmower's a little loud, so I got tunes cranked. And I'm singing out loud while I'm mowing the lawn in the front yard. And I got my neighbors and some people walking by, kind of looking at me kind of strangely, like, what are you doing here? But they also had smiles on their face.
Are you a good singer?
I am a very good singer.
Because that's...
Humbly, I can sing.
I have a neighbor who loves to sing opera music.
Wow.
And he's a phenomenal singer.
Wow.
And so every once in a while, on a beautiful summer morning, you'll hear him with just a beautiful aria. The birds will start chirping behind it, and it'll start your morning off on a very good note.
That's amazing. See, I would love that. I want to live in a neighborhood with talented neighbors that show off their skills. Like, say one guy's a woodworker, another person, a nice gardener is always great for the neighborhood.
Someone's doing ceramics.
I've got a family, so they're probably like 4 or 5 blocks away from me, but they're right at the entrance to our neighborhood. They're a Polynesian family. And in the summertime, every time I drive by their house, they are cooking outside. And that is amazing. I need to become friends with them desperately because every time, and I think there's like 8-9 people that live there. You know how poly families are really super tight with their family.
And it always smells amazing.
Oh, it's amazing every time I drive by. I need to become friends with them.
That's a good group of people to get friends with.
Mm-hmm. In high school, we had a big kind of nice Polynesian influx in high school, Tongan, Hawaiian, and Samoan as well. They were the kids you made friends with. Not only were they awesome people, but you also they had a little mafiosa to them a little bit.
Yeah, if you are getting in a fight, those are the people you want having your back.
Yeah, the girls were tougher than the dudes too.
Amen to that one.
I would not mess with them. I would not mess with them. I do have another conundrum that I need to get to as well. I am a music lover. I am a wannabe amateur audiophile.
As we are on this show.
It's all about vibes. And I have pieced together, straight out of the 1974 Pioneer catalog, my stereo system that sits in my front room. It is a receiver, the turntable, a cassette deck, an 8-track player, and a reel-to-reel. Now, they all work. They're all functional. I just recently had my reel-to-reel restored because it was having some issues. And I was really, really worried about that because reel-to-reel is like a giant cassette, basically, but in a circle. So it's like not the same size as a record per se, but it's tape.
Okay.
And so it's
like what old film...
It looks like a film canister.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks like a film. And there's one size, there's a bigger size, which is a little more kind of record size. But the sound quality on it is amazing. And I got a bunch of like Grateful Dead shows on tape that people recorded off soundboards.
Yeah, you get really good live quality sound on that.
It's really, really cool. And I needed somebody to work on it because the cap stand wasn't quite working. I think there was an issue with the motor, and I'm looking up and I found some shops in town, and every single person I went to was like, "Nah, man, we don't do that anymore. Nah, man, I don't know anybody that does that. Oh, the guy I know that does that, he retired." Because I guess it's just a bitch, and it takes up a ton of space to like break down. I found a guy who lives out in Scappoose, and he worked on my reel-to-reel, and it's pristine. It cost me a little bit of coin, but it is in phenomenal shape, and I'm so excited about the work he did. So then I thought to myself, well, I love this stereo, and I want this stereo to be with me till the end of time. I basically want to be buried in it. No one can have it but me.
Your own little music museum.
And I thought, I'm going to have the receiver, the cassette deck, and the 8-track player like restored, okay? Like change out belts if you need to, capacitors, etc. Not an overhaul, but just kind of a refurb. So I emailed the guy again, and I was like, hey, just want to say again, thanks for the, and this is probably he probably finished the reel maybe a little over a year ago. So I emailed him, maybe a year and a half. So I emailed him about 4 months ago, right before Christmas. And I said, hey, I just want to remind you, like, thank you again so much. Your work on the reel was amazing. I'm in a spot right now where I would like all my other pieces to be refurbished and just checked out and updated. And I love what you did with the reel. And I like the idea of one guy working on all my stuff. Because I got a car guy who used to work on my truck and my truck only. He was the only guy that would touch my truck.
You got a guy for it.
I got a guy. I want you to be my stereo guy. And he was like, no problem. Sounds great. When do you want to drop it off? And I asked him, well, can you let me know a rough timeline when you'd be ready to work on it? Because the reel took like 4 months for him to get through. He's got a lot on his plate. You get in line, etc. Can you give me a rough estimate of when you're ready to work on it? Because they're all still functional, and I would like to still use them as best I can instead of just kind of sitting around waiting for you to get on it. Now, if that doesn't work, let me know, and I'll drop it off to you, and you can take the time you need. Crickets. Nothing. Okay, it was a little bit around the holidays. Maybe he's busy. I waited about a month, emailed him back. Hey, just checking in, see if you still want to do this work. Nothing. About a month ago, so this is 2 months after that email, I shoot again. Hey, buddy, just checking in. Want to make sure. Hope everything's okay. Hadn't heard from you in a little bit. I know you're a busy man. Just let me know if I can squeeze in. Again, nothing. So then what goes firing through my brain? I'm worried the guy's dead.
Something bad has happened to this man.
Older dude. We meet at a mutual place to drop off the equipment, probably because he doesn't want people to know where his shop is, because there's probably a lot of high-end, really expensive stuff in there. Totally get it. Have no problem meeting you where. So I didn't know if he was just being a little secretive or what. But now I'm concerned that the guy, he was older, and probably in his late 60s, early 70s. I'm worried something's happened to him. Then it dawns on me. How do you find old people? Facebook. So I jump on Facebook. I found his profile on Facebook. And I'm never on Facebook. So I had to fire up the account and recover password and all this stuff. So I find him on Facebook and I shoot him a message. Hey man, hope everything's okay. Just, wanted to, let you know I'm still interested in you doing the work for me. And I see that he has posted on March 28th. So I'm like, okay, guy's not dead.
Signs of life.
Sounds great. Wait a couple days, and then I go to check my messages on there, and he has read the message, but I can't see the message, and I can't search his profile anymore. I said that to my wife, and she goes, uh-oh. And I go, what? She goes, you got blocked.
You've been blocked by an older gentleman.
I have been blocked. My stereo guy blocked me.
You no longer have a stereo guy.
And I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did wrong.
Well, how long between these text messages? Because it sounds like you sent a lot of them with no response, and you kept asking for the response.
I've got it right here. I first reached out to him on December 18th. He responded on December 19th. I would be happy to work on these units for you. When did you think you would like to drop the first one off? On December 19th, I responded, hey, thanks for getting back to me so quickly. I know you're a busy man, and I still use these units almost daily, so I was hoping I could start with the cassette deck and get it to you when you're ready to work on it to minimize the unit not being my house. I'd really like that if possible.
His quick response, that prompts a next day response as well.
Yes. If that doesn't work, I totally understand, and we'll turn it over to you however long you need. I like your work that much. That was December 19th. December 24th, I didn't hear anything, so I shot him a quick, just following up with you. Happy holidays. Hope everything's great. Nothing. January 18th.
The December 24th, that's the one where I'm like,
I know.
That's too close to the holiday.
It might have been a little too close.
That's too close to the holiday. Now you're pushing.
I was off work, so I was doing some admin work around my house.
Understandable.
January 18th. Are you still interested in working on the deck? I hope everything is going well on your end.
Now, that's acceptable because that's a long enough period of time. You don't have to even bring up Happy New Year. You've waited the perfect amount of time to reach out after that.
And then I sent him one in early March. So another 2 months later.
I think you have to let the January one sit. I don't think you can double up and retext him in March after he's pretty much ghosted you in January.
I don't have a stereo guy.
You no longer have a stereo guy.
It's such a shot to the heart, dude. I was like, first of all, thank God the man did my reel-to-reel first, because I couldn't find anybody. Everybody was like, honestly, I know somebody who does really good work. It's expensive, but it's really good work. And I was like, okay, that's all right. I'm willing to shuck out a little bucks. He goes, they live in L.A.
Do you think
you would
that
have to ship it to L.A., and that would cost me $500 just to ship it?
Do you think that the process of doing the reel-to-reel was so tedious that he was like, there's no way I can ask for another one? If this guy asked me for another job, I can't do it.
Every job was going to be easier. And I paid. I paid cash in a parking lot off the highway.
Again, it's a good thing you started with the hard one first.
Oh, thank God.
But yeah, you no longer have a stereo guy. And it's understandable on both your parts. Because I'm kind of with the older guy. He's like, why is this dude hitting me up? I have a shop. He could just show up to my shop.
I'm worried that in his shop, he listens to this show or used to listen to this show.
Could be likely.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I used to listen to that show all the time. Love me some Danny Meringue. This new guy, he's the stereo. Oh, my God, I can't do this. I can't do this. No way. I can't have you a part of my life. The good news is, though, like to your point, and what I was saying, too, the other piece is I will be able to find somebody locally to work on. And they'll be just
more
fine.
Feasible.
And I will find one person, and I will have them do all of them. And if I can hold on to it, because especially when they take the receiver, if you take the cassette deck, then I'll just use the turntable or the reel-to-reel. But if you take the receiver, I'm out. I'm dead in the water. Dead in the water. I think that's part of it, too. I think if anything pissed him off, it's that I asked him to let me know when he's ready. When I probably should have just been like, yep, here it is.
Yeah, I can
because he'd be done with it by now.
Because then
he'd be done with it by now.
You guys are gonna both do a back and forth of, oh, I'm available this day, or oh, that day doesn't work for me. But if you would have just told him, hey, I can show up this day, he would have been like, yeah, that works.
Oh, okay. Text line, let me know. I play soccer with a guy who refabs receiver boxes. He's in that world. He might know someone for you. That's great. I don't mind spending the money because, again, this stereo system, I've already put probably $2,000 into it, maybe more with the work done on the reel-to-reel. Mm-hmm. I am happy. Now, I'm not made of money by any means. And this is a lot of money that I'm happy to put another $3,000 into it, because then you're talking about a vintage, high-end sound system in my house for the next, how old am I? 40 years of my life.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's worth the investment.
It's really pretty too, dude.
But is it worth the time investment that these guys know that they're going to have to put in, knowing that you're probably going to text them 8 to 10 times just to get one task done? They just let me know. They're like, hey, man, I actually know your situation. I talk with your old stereo guy. I'm willing to do work for you, but do not talk to me. Do not contact. It's like I've entered the transfer portal with a do not engage. Do not contact. Do not contact. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. The next person who works on my stuff, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Or yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, they. Thank you, they. Keep it all short and sweet. Let them, if they ask you about your day, go, this is fine. How was yours, though? Mm-hmm. Let them do the talking. Now, here's the question. Do I send them the tape deck first, or do I send them the receiver? Which one can you live without? The tape deck. That one first. Yeah. Just in case. Play it cool. Because you always have to throw the just in case. Because if things go incredibly wrong, now you're out of system. Then I'll throw him the 8-track player. That needs work. The 8-track player needs work. Then I will send him the turntable, which I don't think needs work. And we'll do the receiver last. Turntables are also still very iconic. You can always get new ones. Yes. Yes. So, moral of the story, too long didn't read. I'm a hosed and a jerk. And if you need to find old people, Facebook. Oakley Dokley, we got a great show for you today. A lot to get to on a Friday. We'll have Max Bretos join the show
At 11:30, he's on the call for Apple TV this weekend. The Portland Timbers take on LAFC right here at Providence Park. You can catch pregame right here at 12:45, kick at 1:45 on your home of the Portland Timbers, as always, 105.1 in the Fan Sports Network. But let's get into this in the first hour. The Department of Justice is coming for you. Maybe this time they're actually on your side because it costs a lot of money to watch football. We'll go there next. This is The Firm, 105.1 The Fan. 1020 here, Portland Sports Leader, baby. Don't you forget it. We are live from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. 503-864-6326. That's the fan text line. She's the place to be. She'll let you interact with us throughout the entire day. You can also hit us up over on the YouTubes. 1051 The Fan is the channel. Jump in the chat. We're bouncing between Oregon State recruiting basketball news and my love of reel to reels. The text line is helping me out to my defense here. Damn, bro, I want to come over and hear those reel-to-reel dead shows. They're pretty rad. They're pretty cool. This other texter, the only thing I can think of is that you insulted him about the timeline thing. That might have grinded his gears. It's the only thing I can think of. And Patrick, that's totally not on you. That guy got all goofy for probably no reason. Even the Xmas Eve email isn't out of bounds. He runs a business. He can take an email whenever.
That's fair. I'm with him on that one. But it's still Christmas.
Tweet out a photo of the home system. I just want to see it. I don't have Twitter. You can go to my Instagram account. It's all over my Instagram account. I post stuff about it all the time. It's like the only thing I post about on my Instagram account. That's all I've got it for. That's it, man. Simply for that. Only because of that. A story coming out, again, we talked about this the other day with when the government steps in and wants to try to fix what's going on in the NCAA. I always scream that there might be something going on a little bit larger. There's a news story that came out in the Wall Street Journal about something very similar, this time with the NFL. And it has to do with how much money you spend on your streaming services to watch the NFL. We all know this. It's the new way. And I saw the comment on the YouTube that was like, yeah, man, we all pay for subscriptions. That's the world we're getting into. And I'm totally with you. I pay for all of them as well. I think the government, while has more pressing things, in my opinion, than this, is trying to figure something out. Because according to this Forbes estimation, football fans spend almost $1,000 on cable and streaming subscriptions. And the estimated cost of watching every NFL game last season was $765. That's between Netflix games, Amazon games, Monday night football games, Sunday night games, and the package, if you want Sunday ticket. So there's a lot of that involved. I'm with you. I pay for all this. The idea, though, that the media deals and the media deals being different from company to company and the subscriptions being different from company to company is taking advantage of the consumer to be able to watch their games. Now, the NFL pushes back because, like, hey, if you live in your market, you get all your market games for free. They have talked about something like 87% of our games are on free broadcast television. Really? 87%? And see, what they're doing is they're adding in that if I live in New York, I get a Jets game. If I live in LA, I get the Chargers game. They're counting that as 2 and not 1. You catch my drift?
And especially with us here in Portland not having necessarily a local team other than the Seahawks up north, what does that do for fans of, again, me for the example?
Bingo.
I'm
Like
a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Like let's take the Seattle Seahawks last year being on my TV every weekend. That was great. They were really good. But a few years before that, some Geno years, the end of Russ years, they weren't very good.
The Drew Lock era?
When I got to watch those games, I am not as stoked about this. And you're right. Now, if you're in Seattle, I don't think we could bitch about it.
Not
because
at all.
Even if you're a Steeler fan, and I used to be a Charger fan, let's pretend for the argument that I still am. I'm a Charger fan, you're a Steelers fan, we live in Seattle, that's kind of on us. I don't got an NFL team, local NFL team to watch.
Yep.
I mean, that's a whole nother situation. Like, why the Mariners are blacked out in Portland when you have the Extra Innings app is beyond my imagination. I know Dirt just got back from Hawaii, and I sympathize with him. I believe in Hawaii, you were blocked out from A's games, A's, Giants, Dodgers, Angels, Padres. That's 5 teams. And there's like a weird spot in Iowa that if you live, you're blocked out of Brewers, Cubs, White Sox, Royals, and Cardinals. That's unbelievable. So I don't know what's going to come of this. The spokesperson for, let's see, this guy, Senator Mike Lee, who's a Republican out of Utah, he said, The modern distribution environment differs substantially from the conditions that precipitated this exemption. Instead of a small number of free broadcast networks, the NFL licenses games simultaneously to subscription streaming platforms, premium cable networks, and technology companies operating under different business models. To the extent collectively licensed game packages are placed behind subscription paywalls, these arrangements may no longer align with the statutory concept of sponsored telecasting or the consumer access rationale underlying the antitrust exemption. Now, that would be real, and I would take that seriously if the government wasn't, this current administration wasn't willing to. If you make money and exploit people, you're on our team. That's probably where the problem lies.
That's the big thing, is the consumer access.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really gets important, because then you get people who are angry and who do end up having opinions and voicing their opinions and maybe even going as far as voting when you have issues that directly affect consumers.
It's free market capitalism. I totally get that. I understand that. I just think that there is some precedent set by some other leagues, like hockey. You want to watch all the games? There's one place to go to that. MLB, you want to watch all the games? There's one place to go to that. EPL, soccer, there's one place to go to that. The NFL, I got to go to 15. The NBA, I got to go to 15. And that's kind of a pain in the ass. And that makes me, like last year, I ended up getting a deal on the Sunday ticket package because I waited till like halfway through the season. So if there was a game that I couldn't watch, well, ahoy, matey. I just sailed the high seas and found that game. Now,
and was overall viewership of the NFL down because of it?
No, it's the highest rated season since 1989. And so that's why the NFL's getting away with it.
They just wait for you to cave.
Mm-hmm. That's it. They'll just wait you out because that's what they did with me. Did I want to pay the $400 up front to get Sunday ticket? Absolutely not. So I waited 8 weeks and I spent $60. Still got my money. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know, there's so much going on in the modern day sports world, and I think this is one of those examples. NIL is another example. What's the backing? When somebody wants to throw in $1.2 billion into the infrastructure, money has got its hands so over sports so much that I worry sometimes sports sit at that teetering. Like, when is enough? When is too much? I always say this about the NFL. You want to stretch out your scheduling? You want to give me games on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, to quote The Godfather. When does it get to a point where it's like, yo, dude, I just need a break. I need a rest. When is enough? The NFL hasn't got there, but I worry they'll push it to a point.
I'm just worried that they'll alienate consumers. And that's the biggest thing, is when you start alienate your biggest customers, your customers do push back. Yep. Whether it's by voicing their opinions, whether it's by actually acting and stop going to games because accessibility is so out of reach for people. I don't know yet.
This texter, 503-864-6326 is the text line. This texter, I 100% agree with you. I just hate it. I understand, this person says, I understand that it's expensive to watch football, but at the end of the day, the NFL is a business, and they can charge whatever they want for their product if someone's going to pay that. And you're spot on. And that's the thing. Like, when you talk about, if you disagree with the current administration and you want to protest things, okay? No Kings, Black Lives Matter, women's rights, the SAVE Act, all these things that I disagree with, there are, or agree with in some of those instances. We can sit here and cry foul and cry like you're being jerks, etc. But unless we all actually boycott, I saw there's an owner of a local business who took down all their pride flags, and people are like, I'm going to boycott that place. And it's like, that's awesome. But I also know that is a very popular breakfast sandwich spot that people are still going to go to. So unless we all agree to do the same thing together, it's not going to change.
If I'm a Carolina Panthers fan and I watched a fellow fan that could have been me, I watched the owner of the entire stadium, of the team, I watched him dump a drink on a fellow fan.
I've seen him throw the bird at fans.
That could have been me. When am I going to put my foot down and say, these guys just can't act like this?
And the problem is that minority can be very loud. The reality is oh no, in North Carolina, they sold 69,000 tickets instead of 70,000. Oh no, what will we do? It just doesn't work that way. It's unfortunate. It's a reality. I'll be interested if the government does anything about this. I highly doubt it, for I think the current government doesn't do squadouche as it is, and they've got larger fish to fry than worrying about my Netflix subscription. When we come back, a little update on ABS for you guys. You know, I think I'm starting to come around a little bit that maybe umpires aren't so bad. We'll go there next, but there's Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for a DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on the Fan, day 2 of the Masters is underway. Some important tee times for you as your day 1 co-leader, Sam Burns. He teed off just after 9:30. He's already wrapped up his day as he is still at -5. Your other co-leader and last year's Masters champion, Rory McIlroy, he will tee off coming up just before 10:45. Former Oregon Duck Wyndham Clark is making his way up the leaderboard as he sits at -4, and he has just wrapped up his second round. Justin Rose, Jordan Spieth, and Brooks Koepka are making their way around the course as they are getting wrapped up on, I believe that is hole 9 that they are on right now. And Scotty Scheffler, he has dropped down to even after starting the day 2 over par. Your Portland Trail Blazers are in a battle for the 8th seed in the Western Conference as they will host the Los Angeles Clippers inside the Moda Center tonight at 7 p.m. 2 games remaining on the regular season schedule as the Blazers will be without Jeremy Grant, Damian Lillard, and Vit Krejci and Shaedon Sharpe. They are listed as questionable coming into tonight's game. Your Portland Timbers are back in action on the road tomorrow, facing off against LAFC. Timbers are 1-4-1 on the season as they come into the match as significant underdogs. You can catch the entire game right here on 105.1 The Fan when pregame starts at 12:45. Finally, an NFL nugget for you as cornerback Kenny Moore II has requested a trade. Moore is entering his final year of his contract with the Colts, having spent the last 9 seasons in Indy, recording 649 tackles, 21 interceptions, and 6 forced fumbles. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher.
We'll hang out in the baseball world here for a little bit. I know you just heard Casey's update. Scotty back to -2. He's had a little bit of a rough day. Brooks Koepka has had a wild day. Up and down and par, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey. He's had a wild day. And Rory about to tee off here in about 6 minutes or so. And speaking of the Masters, join us June 23rd as Toyota presents the Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club. Foursomes are on sale now. You can choose between either the morning or the afternoon rounds, but get your group signed up soon because they do fill up fast. It's the most fun day in golf with activations and tastings around the course. Don't forget the infamous Angels Envy Bourbon Par 3 6th hold where all of our hosts, Dirt, Sprague, Danny, myself, Luke, Isaac, Suk, will all be posted up there to either heckle or admire your shots. We're working on that toilet out there to have fun with that from our friends at Roto-Rooter. Of course, you'll be kept fed with a post-round meal thanks to Matt's Barbecue for your foursome. Head to 1051thefan.com. Click on the Fan Golf Classic logo for more information and to sign up today. The Fan Golf Classic presented to you by Toyota. Also brought to you by our great friends at Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Maestro Nobel Tequila, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, and Window Nation. We'll get into some Masters in the big nooner, see how the morning kind of plays out, and see who's making moves. We're not quite a moving day. I had a conversation with Dirt that, I'm a Saturday guy. That's my favorite day to watch.
Saturdays where we get some chip-ins. People have felt the course. Everything is kind of settled in.
The cut has been made, so you pare down half the field, and your matchups are looking real tasty those days. I'm a Saturday guy. No offense to Sunday. Obviously, you want to see the winner, but I'm a big Saturday guy as well. I wanted to give kind of an update on the ABS situation, and I've kind of come to the realization of something in my brain. And Casey, I'm curious where you are on all this as well. Some updated data on the season. This is via baseballsavant.mob.com. Shout out Jason Swigard for hooking me up with this. Overall, 54% of calls have been overturned, so that's more than half. Batters are under when making the call to challenge. They're at 47%. Fielders are at 60%. So clearly, catchers and pitchers doing a better job with the ABS than the batters are, and they're about equal attempts, too. Fielders have done it a little bit more than batters, but they're around the same. 352 for batters, 397 for fielders. There's a ton. This website's really cool. There's a ton of metrics on who's challenged the most, who's won, who's lost, percentage. They even have players who have done the most, and you can get on that, and that kind of stuff's nerdy. But some stuff that I've noticed, and there's even on this, the most recent days challenged, you are seeing like 50%, and some days more than 50%, you are seeing calls being overturned or confirmed that are less than an inch in or out. And as much as I think this is working, and if you are familiar with me as a baseball fan, you know that I was very skeptical about the pitch clock and very suspect about the larger stolen bases. I ate some crow on that. I'm willing to admit that it worked. I was concerned that its purpose was to speed the game up, and I was concerned that it was actually going to create more offense, thus making games longer. Pitching changes, etc., starters not going as deep. And I was very wrong about that, and baseball's in an awesome place for it. So I decided to take the ABS as kind of the opposite route. I was like, you know what? Go. Let's do this. Let's make the game right. Let's make it fast. If we can do these challenges quickly, I've got no issue. I still feel that way, but I'm also starting to feel a little sympathy for umpires. And we've always known that that's a really, really hard job and a thankless job. But right now, if over 50% of challenge calls are within less than an inch, that margin of error is so slim that maybe the outcry for ABS as soon as possible was a little overhyped.
I will push back on that because to me what ABS is showing, I love the graphic that we get from ABS because you're seeing the path of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the misses are going to be very minute because, again, what are catchers really good at doing?
Framing.
Making those minute, again, misses that much different. If I have a catcher, a Yadier Molina, I'm going to probably win a lot more challenges just because his frame rate is a lot better than a lot of other people's. But I love that ABS is showing us that if a pitch is touching the zone, it's touching the zone. But if a pitch doesn't even go near the zone but barely snaps back at the last second, and a catcher just does enough where the glove makes it look a little bit closer to the zone, I like that for them.
I know that's a big question too, because framing changed the game, and I don't know if framing existed in the 40s and 50s. I don't really think it did.
I bet it did to an extent.
To an extent, but it's definitely, I mean, it is like catching 101 these days. Like, you have to be able to frame. Yeah, Yachty's one of the greatest ones to ever do it, but now it's like even a mid-range catcher is really good at it. Is the framing the pitch, is that something you like, even if it manipulates the strike zone? Or do you like the concept of maybe you think that that's cheating, quote unquote? Not really, but I can't think of a better word for it. And you eliminate that, and the strike zone becomes more defined. I don't want to say black and white, because it is still a little. We talked about the different height of players,
but
and
more
etc.
black and white.
But more black and white than it was. Yeah. What side do you lean on? Were you saying that you kind of like the framing?
I like the framing because
I do too.
Because even with framing, I think the framing is what you start pointing out umpire mistakes for, because those little differences, I can see if a ball or if a catcher rotates his wrist. I can't necessarily see in that little difference if that ball just happened to snap at that very moment.
I tend to kind of like the framing. And I think what you're alluding to, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the framing made us think it was on the umps, when in theory we should be giving credit to the catcher.
Yep. Because the catcher, again, think about positioning too. I've watched many ABS videos where a catcher, as the pitcher is in his delivery, catcher's getting to his spot, moving inside. If I'm an umpire, I'm not just going to stand there right behind him and not move. I'm going to have to creep my way behind him as well, in case this foul tip happens to hit me in the face, CB Buckner.
Think about you're a catcher. This happens in basketball a lot these days too. And you look at the umpire card and you're like, oh, damn it, it's Casey Smith today. He always calls it tight inside. Do umpires go, hell, it's Cal Raleigh. That guy always makes me look bad with his frames.
Or do catchers in the same vein go, gosh, this is always the guy that's right up on my neck. I can feel him breathing on my neck calling
and he's got
strikes.
bad breath, like he always eats garlic fries before the game.
Like I can feel his heat already, and it's 90 degrees out here.
Yeah, I don't think you have the same relationship that like a quarterback and a center do. Look, we're real friendly down there. You know what I mean?
Or they do.
Yep. Joe Burrow and his center, they're real friendly down there.
Jeff Saturday, Peyton Manning.
Those guys, they've got a bond like no other. Again, I don't think my wife and I are that close.
Even at the Hall of Fame speech, he didn't take it from shotgun. He went up under center.
He went up under, A little too close for me. It's an exit only over there.
He touches a lot of balls.
Yeah, he sure does. I'm still cautiously optimistic, and I don't even know if I'm cautiously. I think this is working. And as long as we can speed up the challenges and make sure there's no long delays, then I'm all for it. Let's stick in Major League Baseball. I heard the Sunrise guys this morning talk about it too. I wanted to mention it as well. Is it time to panic up north? The big boys are not hitting. We'll go there next. I'm Patrick. That's Casey. 105.1 The Fan. Coming up in hour number deuce, got a lot of Timbers action to get to today. I sat down with my co-host Jake Zivin on the Timbers Fan show that you can catch every Tuesday at 7 p.m., 7 to 8 p.m., or wherever you get your podcasts, including 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app. We sat down with Finn Sermon, defender for the Portland Timbers. It was a great interview. He is a really, really awesome kid who's got a very bright future, so I want to play that for you. We'll talk a little bit about the game this weekend against LAFC. Portland seems to be in a really kind of do-or-die stretch, but the schedule is not going to be very nice to them. And then Max Bretos, if you're an old fuddy-duddy like me, you'll remember Max as a Sports Center anchor. He was also big time on Fox Soccer Channel back in the day. When talking about that NFL DOJ story, there used to be one place you could watch soccer, one channel. That was it. And if your team wasn't playing on that channel, you weren't a fan of that team. There was just no way to do that. He'll be on the call on Apple TV this weekend. I would recommend Fletcher Johnson and Aaron Heitzen and Adam Sussman right here on the Fan. Those are my guys. But Max is wonderful. We're excited to have him at 11:30. But sticking with a little bit of baseball here, and I kind of wanted to read this because I thought Sam brought this up as an interesting point on the YouTube chat. ABS is almost too perfect for baseball. And it's funny, like, been trying to find ways to improve baseball, as all leagues are doing. I mean, the NBA is fully in it right now. Always trying to create your sport to be in a better place. And I think we should always be doing that. There are ways to not touch things when you don't need to, but there are always times where I think you can look at little things. I think the NFL does too much of it, but baseball found the ABS system, and it's kind of cleaning the game up a little bit. And to our point about framing, whoa. Like, wait a sec, though. I don't know if we want baseball to be perfect. I think something beautiful about baseball is not being perfect.
Is its imperfection.
Yes. It is perfectly imperfect. Currently, right now, your Seattle Mariners are not perfect. It is a rough start to the season up there. I picked up coffee this morning at a spot in downtown Vancouver, one of my favorite spots, and I'll shout out those guys every time I can. And I walked in, and one of my baristas looks at me, doesn't say anything, doesn't say hello or anything, goes, "Patrick, tell me I'm going to be okay. Tell me everything's going to be all right." I said, "Brother, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay." But there is no doubt about it that the Mariners are struggling right now to start the season. Cal Raleigh's got one home run on the year. Look, you knew that was going to be a natural regression. He's not going to hit 60 again. It's just Aaron Judge is a freak of freaks. Okay, Shohei is a freak of freaks. That's why they hit that many home runs every single year. Let's not forget, Aaron Judge missed time last year and still hit 50 bombs. So,
Yes,
there are ones of ones, twos of twos, and I don't know if Cal's that guy. So that doesn't necessarily worry me. The conversation about Julio starting slow, that narrative's got to change at some point. Look, I understand that he gets hot at the end of the year, and, I heard Schultz ranting this morning that he is a top 10 finisher in the MVP a couple times, and I agree. If he could put it together in the beginning, and I don't think you lose MVPs in the beginning, if you can put it together, he becomes dynamite. But the problem is between Cal, Julio, and Josh Naylor, Cal's the only one with an extra base hit, and it's a home run. There's no extra base hits for Julio Rodriguez and Josh Naylor. I am not concerned about this team because I love the starting rotation. If Emerson Hancock continues to do what he's doing,
the arms and the talent, they're going to save you down the line.
Without a doubt. I like that bullpen. If Emerson Hancock continues to do what he's doing right now, then you're talking about making Bryce Miller, who I already think is expendable, and maybe even like a George Kirby expendable. And if you move those guys that is something really nice you could get a nice player for. So I think this team still has a ton of options and still has a long runway to go. We're just in April. We're like 12 games into the season. It's not freak out. However, the only thing that creeps into my head is, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. The pressure on the Seattle Mariners right now is a new type of pressure. Not just for these players, the front office, but for you as fans out there. I know, Casey, you and I aren't Mariner fans, but we definitely watch our fair share of Mariner games being in the Northwest. When does that conversation about this new pressure and different pressure, and honestly, heavy pressure, Vegas has put the pressure on you. Yourself has put the pressure on you. Your payroll has put the pressure on you, unlike things we've ever really seen from this team.
Again, your fans are the last bastion of putting pressure on you.
Exactly, and that's starting to happen. Now, I don't think that they're folding under the pressure. It's too early.
But just the mentality is starting to creep in maybe just a little bit.
And that's got to be terrifying if you're a Mariner fan. That's got to really scare the ever-loving bejeez out of you because this is it. This is it. You were 2 innings away from the World Series last year, and that team that you lost to took the Dodgers to extra innings in Game 7.
As a team right now, you're batting 100, again, team average, 184, on-base percentage, 280,
Ugh.
and you have 133 strikeouts.
And your slugging's 301. Your slugging needs, I always say this in like a real judgment of a complete player, and this kind of translates to fantasy as well. If you can marry your on-base percentage and your slugging percentage, and you're over 850, you're doing great. Right now, the Mariners are at 580. That is 300 points. That is 30% away from where you need to be. It's early. It's very early. Facts are facts, though.
A lot of swings and misses right now.
You got an Astros team this weekend that you should take care of business. You should have your guys on the rotation. I mean, every time you throw a starter out there, you can win that game. The Astros have not been off to a great start, although Yordan Alvarez, good God, do not pitch to that man right now, or do because he's on my fantasy team. Outside of that team's got some issues. I mean, Christian Walker, Jose Altuve have had a nice start for them. I worry about their pitching when it comes to Houston. Brian Abreu has been blowing up as one of the top relievers in baseball, and I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that he is giving up runs like no one's business. So get yourself a little get-right series and over the weekend and take care of some division foes, put some distance between, or at least close up the gap between you and those cheating losers down there, and we'll check back.
Yeah, right now, again, in the AL West, you're 3.5 games behind. Shorten that.
That's not bad.
Can you shorten that?
Yeah,
Again,
absolutely
it's
can.
early,
Yep.
but 3.5 games, this is the point in the season where you just have to make sure that you are within reach. Because if you are playing bad baseball and you're still within reach, when you play good baseball, you're going to run away with it.
Last year, the Mariners started 4-8, and then they went 18 of 24 after that.
Right now, they're 4-9.
Boom. Step it up. Get it done. When we come back, let's slide into our number deuce. I'll play for you the interview we had on Tuesday with Finn Sermon, let you introduce yourself to either future stalwart of the Portland Timbers or someone who's going to make a lot of money playing overseas for a big club. Loaded hour number 2, Timbers action here on 105.1, The Fan Sports Network.
If you're a man facing
From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, day 2 of the Masters is underway. Some important tee times for you as your day 1 co-leader Sam Burns. He teed off just after 9:30 as he has dropped out of your leader spot and into 3rd at 4 under. Your other co-leader and last year's Masters champion Rory McIlroy just teed off moments ago as he's still sitting atop your leaderboard next to Tyrrell Hatton, as Hatton has crept his way into the leaderboard and is now tied with Rory at 5 under. Former Oregon Duck Wyndham Clark made his way up the leaderboard this morning as he sits at 4 under and he's wrapped up his second round. Justin Rose, Jordan Spieth, and Brooks Koepka are making their way around the course as they are currently on hole 14, working their way around, and Scotty Scheffler has worked his way back to even after starting the day 2 over. Your Portland Trailblazers are in a battle for the 8th seed in a Western Conference as they will host the Los Angeles Clippers inside the Moda Center tonight at 7 p.m. 2 games remaining on the regular season schedule for the Blazers as they will be without Jeremy Grant and Damian Lillard, while Vit Krejci and Shaedon Sharpe are listed as questionable coming into tonight's game. Your Portland Timbers are back in action on the road tomorrow, facing off against LAFC. Timbers are 1-4-1 on the season as they come into the match as significant underdogs. You can catch the entire game right here on 105.1 The Fan when pregame starts at 12:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris.
Hour number deuce here. If you missed it in the first hour, you can download that, The Fan Podcast, 1051thefan.com. The Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. You can also jump over on the YouTubes. 1051 The Fan is the channel over there. If you missed the Sunrise guys, they had Joel Freeman on this morning talking a little Blazers. If you missed some of that, he's always got some great insight. I love to hear from Joel. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts, the Odyssey app or YouTube. Rewind, fast forward. Except for in the future, for that would be impossible. A little Timbers heavy hour for you as they take on LAFC this week. And we'll get into the game a little bit next, and we'll have Max Bretos join us at the bottom of the hour. Apple TV, MLS Apple TV guy now, but a long-time lover of the sport and kind of there at the beginning of the American push to get more eyeballs on soccer or football, whatever you like to say. But if you're not familiar, Jake Zivin, who's one of the top MLS Apple TV guys, him and I do a show on Tuesday nights from 7 to 8. You can always catch right here on the Fan Sports Network or wherever you get your podcasts. We are very fortunate that we are usually able to sit down with a player or a coach every week and kind of just talk shop, or talk chop as I like to call it. And this week we had Finn Surman on, and it's not something that I like to do all the time because I'd love to just send you over to that. But Finn was such a great interview, and he is such a rising star on this team that I thought it would be fun to share with you. It comes to you by way of that show, so you will hear my co-host on that, Jake Zivin, who is fantastic. This is Finn Surman from Tuesday night.
We are very happily joined by defender Finn Surman from your Portland Timbers. Finn, how are you today? How was training? How you feeling?
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm doing all right today. We're first training back and just get the leagues moving and then work on some things that we want to work on as a team. So, no, it was a good day today.
Finn, talk to us about the season so far. You know, you've been the anchor of that back line. We know to expect your name on the sheet, but we've seen a lot of guys coming in and out, whether it's getting healthy or new players in. What's that transition been for you like on a day-to-day basis at practice and at games itself?
Yeah, it is. It has been a little bit of a transition, and it does. The inconsistency does take a little bit of a toll, I guess. I would say that it starts at training, in and around the training ground, and then on the training field as well. I think it's important for us all to build connections off the pitch, and then to continue to grow those when we're training together. And then when it comes to the games, it's about understanding each other's tendencies and where we like to be, where we need to be for someone else, all that sort of stuff. So it does take a little bit of time to gain an understanding and the connection with each other. But I think a lot of the new boys this season have fit in really well and are slowly being able to show their quality more and more.
Obviously a difficult day against Vancouver in Vancouver, just the way that game ended. And you look at Houston, also kind of just these two heartbreaking endings of games. How do you handle that as a player? How does the group handle it together and still stay either positive or at least stay strong throughout? Look, some difficult endings, of course.
Yeah, it's no secret that there've been some difficult moments that we've gone through early in the season already as a team. I think everyone handles things different personally. So I guess for myself, I try to review and look at the games and first of all look at myself and to what I can do better in certain moments and how I can help my team better. I do my clips after the games with Reggie, and we go through that and speak about that. And that's something that I find is quite important to me and helps me get ready for the new week. I think as a team, being positive, taking the positives from previous games of moments where we do things well and things that we can, be happy about. But also I said after the game on Saturday, we need to continue to learn from these tough moments that we go through. I think it's super important that we review and analyze what has been going wrong in different moments and then learn from that and just be open to communicate with each other and support each other in the process of learning while staying positive.
You mentioned saying it after the game. You did face the media after that game. You're 22 years old. This is your third season, but your second full season with the club. I mean, you haven't even been in Portland for 2 full years. But it seems like you embrace that role of being kind of like a spokesperson, even in tough times for a team, which is more difficult than being the spokesperson when things are going well. Why is that? What in you kind of embraces being someone who's up for speaking after games like that?
I think it's a mix of a few things. I definitely feel like I have a responsibility within this team, within this club to speak, especially when maybe things aren't going so well, seeing as I am a defender and I'm a so-called leader within this team. I think it's important that I step up and I think a big thing for me is I can't hold other people accountable if I'm not holding myself accountable. And I think that's something that's really important for team culture and that. A big thing for me has always been kind of lead by example. So I try not to put other people in situations where I wouldn't want to be myself. So I think it's about that. And I think the reality is when we concede these goals, I think that as a defender, it's my responsibility to stop these goals, and we've been copping a few goals from different areas. And I think that it's important that I, again, show my team that I'm willing to step up for them and support them, and then also get a message across to the fans of what's kind of going on inside my head and within the dressing room at the time, because it's no secret, like, we're hurting after some of these results. We feel it as well, and we all believe that we are close and we can be a good team, and we're just trying to stick together. A big thing we spoke about today within the dressing room was we've got to stick together, got to have courage to stick together in these moments, and we believe that we'll be better for it, and we'll see the fruits of that come to light soon.
He's Finn Sermon, defender of the Portland Timbers, joining us here on Timbers Fan. And Finn, you said something that I'm curious if you will enlighten me a little bit more on. You kind of talked about you watched tape with Ridgie after games. What have you seen so far this season? Not to give too much away, if in case the enemy's listening right now. What have you learned this season that you're doing well? But also, what are the things that you want to work on right now? Because you have mentioned that you feel like you carry, a lot of the burden on giving up goals. What have you seen that you're proud of so far this year, but also what you want to work on?
Yeah, so I mean, a little bit of insight when I do them. I watch the games back, and I'm mainly looking at myself. But then if there's certain things from the team that I see, I'll clip that up and speak about that with them. I think on a personal level, it's lots of the things that I'm working on personally. So I'm looking at my ball possession and kind of we look at a lot at what passing options there are and what decisions I'm making with the ball. And then I think positive things is often some parts of my defending and some things that I'm proud of. I'm proud when I'm able to, clear the ball and make good or do good blocks and that sort of stuff. So we look at that and we kind of talk about the positioning and what I'm seeing, and then and how that kind of affects the game and affects the team. And then other things is kind of, what am I looking to work on? So we've been doing a bit of stuff with Alex and Ridgie this season on, getting the lineup a bit faster, a bit more together so that we stay compact, and then being ready to drop off. So I'm looking at how am I organizing and leading, especially the back line to stay together in those moments and kind of keep the team compact. Those are kind of the main things that I'm looking at. Obviously some special moments in the game. I think it's important that to celebrate the good things you do. So if I make a good tackle or a good block, then we'll look at that and speak about it. But also really important to try to learn from things that maybe don't go so well or where I have questions.
Finn, I do want to, since we're getting closer and closer to the World Cup, I do want to ask you about your recent trip back to New Zealand for the international break, the last one before it's all really set in motion and the World Cup rosters come out. How'd you feel that the weekend, or I guess the week went for you, for New Zealand as a whole? And man, I mean, a couple months left, right? Like, how are you approaching this next month and a half before the roster comes out?
Yeah, I mean, it's a super exciting time for Kiwi footballers and Kiwi fans of football. The last week, when I was back in New Zealand was really good. It's always a great time to connect with my national team teammates. Some of these boys I played with since I was 15, 16 years old, and some of them I have really good bonds with, both on the pitch and off the pitch. So yeah, that's always awesome. I think the first game we were pretty disappointed with kind of just how we played, how we performed. We lacked a lot of intensity and just quality in what we were doing. So after that game, there's a big theme on we need a reaction in this next game. And then I think it was big for us to come out in front of a lot of home fans and perform against Chile the way we did. I think it was one of our more how do you say clinical games. I think scoring 4 goals is great for us. I think very disappointing to concede the goal that Chile scored, but I think overall it's a tour that a lot of boys will look back on positively, and a big thing was putting a good foot forward to be hopefully selected for that for the World Cup in the summer. And you ask what's it like between now and then. I think for me a really big thing is about focusing on one game at a time, focusing on my next club game, and then kind of building that momentum leading into the summer. I think it would be wrong to have my mind on the summer now and to be thinking about that World Cup. I think it's much more important to focus on what I can control and try to perform well at my club and help my club do as well as we can. And then fingers crossed get selected for the World Cup and then kind of go from there.
Say hi to Bill Tuiloma for all of us next time you're in with the national team.
Of course I will.
Finn, we'll get you out of here real quick. We always love to ask players, that live in town, whether they've been here freshly or been here for a little bit, some places you just like to go, things you like to do, places you like to eat, kind of shout out anybody you want. Like, what does Finn Surman on a day off, what does he like to do?
Finn Sermon on a day off is maybe not the most exciting person, but actually, I got this new thing this year where I like to go get. It's called an acai bowl.
Acai, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Like fruit and frozen berries and stuff like that. I think it's called karaoke bowls or something like that. On the east side of Portland, which is really nice. So I'll go there and do that sometimes. There's a cafe close to where I'm living, called, I think it's Sisters Coffee, where just go back, and that's often where I go and review my games and watch them back and kind of reset for the week and plan what's coming ahead. And then maybe one restaurant. I like Piazza Italia. That's nice. That's a simple place, and they're always really nice there, and it's just a chill scene in there. So yeah, those are my three places.
Diego Valeri is the godfather of that restaurant, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but I think he just had like his permanent seat for years and years. He would just post up there. So it's a good choice. Good history in Portland Timbers lore at Piazza Italia.
Yeah, that's the one.
He's Finn Sermon. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Good luck this weekend. And you got a great head on your shoulders, and being the positivity is definitely what the team needs right now. Thank you for being a part of this today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And you caught that on Tuesday night on Timbers Fan from 7 to 8 p.m. Myself and Jake Ziven host that every single week. Finn is just, I can't say more about how great he's been. He's stepped up and talked to the media a lot. For a young kid, he's really going places. We'll jump back in this. We'll take a break, come back, try to catch back up on the clock. We went a little long there, so we can give enough room for Max Bretos right here on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan.
We'll have Max Bretos join us here in a moment. And 20-year-old Patrick is very, very excited to talk to him as we're kind of looking ahead to the Timbers game. They'll take on LAFC at Providence Park this weekend. Kicks at 1:45. Pre-game coverage starts right here on the Fan at 12:45. Adam Sussman, Fletcher Johnson, Aaron Heitzen with you on that. It's going to be a tricky one. We just heard from Finn Sermon. The season so far has not been excellent. There's 4 points to show for it. There are 2 losses I can think of specifically that were kind of grabbed from you at the last second in a not very pleasant spot. And something to keep in mind with Finn, like Finn has such a bright future on this squad to the point that if Finn Sermon is not a Portland Timber at some point in his career, he's either retired with a statue outside or he is like a center back at Real Madrid. Like that is, the sky is the limit for that kid. And Timbers have had some goal allowance issues this season, but if you watch footy, and for those of you that don't watch soccer, it's not as clear cut as like if this quarterback throws 5 touchdowns, it's because you got a cheek secondary. There are so many more factors that go into, and I guess that does as well, because you can have pass rush, etc. It's similar to that, then, I guess, is maybe a better way to look at it. That just because the Timbers have been getting up a lot of goals doesn't mean it's because of that back line.
I find him to be very similar as, I'd say, like a Minkah Fitzpatrick, a Caleb Downs, if you will, just a guy who can sit back there, play the role very well, do all the extra stuff, do all the little stuff extremely well. He's got a bright future. And
he's learning from one of the best, too. He's got Liam Ridgey, who's a part of the team and is, a Timbers legend for those of us that have been around for a long time. Nat Borchers, Liam Ridgewell on that back line, especially when MLS Cup came around. So he's in a good spot. As far as the Timbers going into this LAFC game, it's going to be tough. We'll talk to Max about that coming up. He knows that team very, very well. LAFC is one of the most efficient scoring teams in the MLS. They're the only team to give up no goals so far this year. It's actually the longest stretch in MLS history to pitch a season shutout so far. It's going to be a tough uphill battle. I think there are some factors that are going in Portland's way in the sense that it's going to be raining most likely during the game, which I think for LA kids puts a little extra spot on that. But there are some things that are not going to go well. We just learned the other day that Mosquera's out for the game, which stinks really bad because he had a great performance last weekend despite the loss in Vancouver. We still don't know about Cole Bassett. There's rumors about Anthony coming off the pitch earlier in training with an injury. So again, we're lineup watching, and I think when you're continuously, this is what I do in Media Row. I mean, like, I sit down and when that lineup comes out, I look at my buddy Tyson Alger and the rest of the crew up there, and we're like, oh, did you see that? You see that? Like, we're still at a point of what's the starting 11 going to look like, and that's the credit. That's why maybe everything shouldn't land on Phil Neville as far as the deficiencies of the season, because we haven't seen the full strength starting 11 the way in his mind and Grabavoy's mind are. Unfortunately, as a coach, you're going to take that heat. Now, Grabavoy did come out the other day and say at training that he expects to give all time and solutions possible till the World Cup break. So if you are in the anti-Neville camp or the pro-Neville camp, you know that you will probably have some time, at least until the World Cup break, to make that decision.
I will say that lineup-wise, it feels like Neville's trying to exhaust all options.
I think so, too.
He's trying to figure out what rotation in here I can make work, everything that looks good for the best 90 minutes. I think he's starting to do that a little bit. I think last week we got, kind of a tough break with the 5 extra minutes and everything breaking in those 5 extra minutes of stoppage time. But I think he is doing a good job, at least trying out different rotations and exhausting all options.
Well, let's bring Max in and let's talk to him about this game. He'll be on the call on Apple TV, a long-time soccer guy, and we'll definitely ask him some questions about that. We'll do that next. There's Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air, serving Portland, Southwest Washington, and the Gorge. Online at aneheatingandcooling.com. It's hard to stop a train. First on the Fan, Day 2 of the Masters is underway. Some important tee times for you as your Day 1 co-leader Sam Burns. He teed off just after 9:30, and he has dropped out of your leader spot and into third at -3. Your other co-leader and last year's Masters champion Rory McIlroy, he teed off moments ago at around 10:45, as he is still sitting atop your leaderboard next to Tyrell Hatton, who has crept his way up into the leaderboard and is now tied at 5 under. Former Oregon Duck Wyndham Clark made his way up the leaderboard this morning as he sits at 4 under after wrapping up his second round at the Masters. Justin Rose, Jordan Spieth, and Brooks Koepka are making their way around the course as they are currently through 15. Scotty Scheffler has worked his way back to 1 under after starting the Day 2 over. He is currently on hole 14. Your Portland Trailblazers are in a battle for the 8th seed in the Western Conference as they will host the Los Angeles Clippers inside the Moda Center tonight at 7 p.m. 2 games remaining on the regular season schedule for the Blazers as they will be without Jeremy Grant and Damian Lillard, while Vit Krejci and Shaedon Sharpe, they are listed as questionable coming into tonight's game. Your Portland Timbers are back in action on the road tomorrow facing off against LAFC. Timbers are 1-4-1 on the season as they come into the match as significant underdogs. You can catch that entire game right here on 105.1 The Fan when pregame starts at 12:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy 1 Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hanging out here in some Timbers talk as we do on a Friday. LAFC comes into town. Kick is at 1:45. Pregame coverage starts here at 12:45 right here on The Fan, your home of the Portland Timbers. But we bring in Max Bretos, who will be on the call for MLS, Apple TV, an LA guy. We'll get to that in a minute. Max, how are you? I heard you just got done with the gym. You feeling good?
I feel great because I'm going to be jumping on a Alaska Airlines flight to your fair city here shortly. So got a little run, a little lift, and the most important part, got to sit in the sauna for a few minutes. So I'm ready to go. Got my head right and excited for one of the great fixtures of Major League Soccer.
That's excellent, my man. And I do a weekly show outside of this program with one of your coworkers, and Jake Zivin, and he was so funny. I was letting him know you were coming on the show. He's like, "Oh, Max is great. You'll love Max, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Jake, no offense, buddy, but I've probably seen Max on TV more than any person in my soccer life." So I want to start there with you, Max. Like, you've come so far in this, whether it was Fox Soccer Channel, Anchor on SportsCenter, to now MLS. Talk to me about the growth of MLS, what you've seen over your long range to where we are today.
Oh, Harris, it's very nice introduction, and except for the fact that I feel really old right now. But I'll tell you, it's not just the growth of MLS, but the growth of soccer, and those two are obviously intertwined. And it's weird because it goes really fast, and then there's times we have to be patient with this growth, and I think we kind of get caught in that dichotomy of things. But it's certainly from soccer on TV and how we cover it, the growth has been stunning. I mean, we started from pretty much zero, and when you think of MLS in particular, and it's finding its spot. It still has a lot of room for growth, certainly. And we're thrilled that folks like you up in Portland are doing this on a regular basis. More and more people are getting the hook of MLS. But that I've seen in the growth, and I think really we see it here, is just the level of play at every level. You know, it used to be called the Retirement League. And they still get these big stars. You know, we have Antoine Griezmann coming in. There's this report that Neymar might be coming to Cincinnati. But then the middle group where players want to really springboard their career, and we've seen that with Denis Bouanga or Anders Dreyer or, several Portland guys like a David Ayala that, they say we're going to MLS to see where we can go next in our career. And now the development of the young players, which I know is your neighbors up north in Seattle do a great job. I think it's going to kick in here sometimes for the Timbers, but it's great to see that growth at every level because that's what's going to take MLS to a more appealing league where you have good young American players, great young players from around the world, great players at every level. Still a long way to go, and I'm curious to see what it looks like after this World Cup because we've been waiting for this boom for so long. For years, and now that moment is here. So there's growth across the board. And by the way, this just the fan culture. We seen traveling fans at venues, and then these incredible venues across the board. And I'll finish this by saying I think one of the most important things, one of the great foundations, is we don't have a lot of history, but to have some of it, thanks to teams like the Timbers, the Sounders, the Whitecaps, the Earthquakes that have been there for 50 years.
And Max, let's get into this weekend's matchup. You know LAFC maybe better than they know themselves with all the work you've done with them over the years. They are one of the most efficient attacking teams in the MLS. They're also have not given up a goal. That's a testament to that defense. I believe it's the longest stretch to open a season without giving up a goal. I've been very impressed with this team. I go back and forth between whether it's Vancouver or LAFC for the best team in the Western Conference. What impresses you most about this LAFC team? Is it that three-headed monster up front in the attack, or is it how solid that defense has been?
It's hard not to be impressed by that three-headed monster, and we caught in that moment about is this the best trinity of players? And time will tell. But this one, because of the emergence of David Martinez, which has been I think the most appealing development of this young LAFC season, to see a guy who struggled, and you wondered if they were going to cut bait with him because it didn't seem like it's working. And now it's falling into place. They've given him a chance, and now he's reaching for those expectations. But if I had to answer that question, it is the collective. It is the fact how they all work for each other, how well-oiled they have become. I was the Cruz Azul game, which I was there on Tuesday, to see these passing sequences of 15, 20 passes, breaking teams down. It's good, and it's really unique, and it's very effective. And there is, you give credit to the team that hasn't allowed a goal all season. You immediately go to Hugo Lloris and the center backs, but it's this team effort. They don't give up a lot of chances. They do. There's some good chances that do get through, and Hugo Lloris will make a great save. But it's how they all work for each other, and I think that's just going to improve when once we get into the throes of the post-World Cup, when this team really starts to turn, and who knows what happens after the World Cup as well. But if they continue at this pace, they're going to be competing for best LAFC team ever. I don't want to put that pressure on them now, but that's how good they look.
Yeah, I was going to say this team has MLS Cup or bust written all over it. He's Max Bretos. He's on the MLS Apple TV coverage this weekend alongside Brian Dunseth. And let's switch it over to this Timbers side, okay? You've seen this team has struggled out of the gates, and it's not just struggling with results. It's kind of struggling with attrition. It's struggling, tactics have been a large, loud conversation up here, whether warranted or not. When you look at this Timbers team, who have struggled to possess and struggled to create kind of attempts on goal, what do you see this team's strength as, but what do you see holding this team back?
Well, there's such a process of trying to figure this team out, and in defense of Phil Neville and Ned Grabavoy, we haven't really seen what a good Timbers team will look like. They have been hit by a lot of injuries. There's been a lot of transition with players. That's their responsibility, though, because they got to prepare a product that is ready to go. And look, we saw them early in the season, and it was a tough watch. But I think breaking through in their last home game, and by the way, seeing the team that's struggling and filling out an afternoon game at Providence Park a couple of weeks ago just shows you the mettle of the Timbers Army and the Timbers fan support, and that'll be there. But they certainly got to get results. I'm optimistic that they're heading in the right direction. I like the idea of putting together a really exciting young team, but that's going to take some time. But time is certainly running out. We heard some questions for Phil Neville, and the Timbers are an elite team in MLS, and you're not going to get as much time here than you will get in other places. But it's still not fully baked. I'm optimistic about. I like the Caicedo guy. He looked really good against the Whitecaps in that game. The big question mark is goals, because we're just 2 years removed when they had that three-headed monster, and they three players averaged scored a combined 45 goals. We're not getting that in the attacking role. I think you need to see something from Kelsey. There's got to be a better connection between him and DaCosta, and just I like Velda a lot, but I think there's some chemistry things that need to be resolved. And Velda to me is kind of reminds me of Denny Bouanga. He's that profile of player that is confident, brash, super speedy, can get vertical in a hurry. The pieces are there. I just feel like they've got to find that chemistry to come together. But it's a really strong team. When you look at the group that they've assembled, it's just the minutia about getting them on track. This is a lot of pressure in this game. They need to start getting results soon. I know that they're looking towards that benchmark of the World Cup break, but you're going to lose touch of some of those top teams the way it's going, like LAFC and the Whitecaps.
Bouanga has been so impressive this year, and we got the news that Mosquera is going to be out. He played his first game last week, but he's out this week. Brandon Bai is going to have a tough time with Bouanga, who's looked just absolutely electric this year. LAFC has not had the greatest track record of late in Portland. Is that something to look into, or is that just us fans up here going crazy at games?
Well, last time they played down in Los Angeles, the Timbers got a really nice win, which helped them get into those playoff positions eventually. I will say this: they haven't had a lot of luck. And the one thing that sticks out is that they've been really entertaining games. Last year's game at Providence Park was insane. It was 3-3, goals coming everywhere, and I think sometimes people think LAFC and Timbers, for some reason, it's a grinded out affair, but it really hasn't. You usually get goals, so I don't think that's going to be different. I would venture a guess that LAFC's shutout streak will probably end here. I think Portland at home will be good enough to come up with the goods, and you figure LAFC is going to rotate some players because they have a huge game against Cruz Azul in Mexico the following Tuesday. But it should be hard for LAFC to get results there. I will say that this is such a nice organic rivalry that's developed. when LAFC came to the league, it was Galaxy LAFC, but the Timbers organically became the number 2 rival in my estimation, just because of the games. There's no love lost. LAFC fans love going there. Timber fans love coming down here. So it's always, to me, to see this on my schedule, I do a backflip. If I could do a backflip, to be able to call it, especially up in Portland on an afternoon tilt, it's a special fixture.
Yeah, there's something about it, man. If you go to a Blazer Laker game, there's something. This city hates Los Angeles, and I don't know if it's because
they're not alone. They're not alone in that.
I don't know if it's because we're tucked up here in the Northwest and we feel like you transplants are ruining it for the rest. I don't know, but it exists in all the sports here. Max, we'll get you out of here on this. I don't know the last time you were in Portland. I always love to ask these questions, whether it's Timbers players or you broadcasters. Things you love to do in town. Since it sounds like you'll get in tonight and maybe have a little bit of time to wander the city. What are some things you love about this town?
Well, I usually get in late. I'm coming in a little earlier today because we have the afternoon game. So I do like to walk around downtown. I wish they kept it a little open a little later. A lot of the restaurants close around 9, and I usually get in around 8. So I would love to dine at one of the fine establishments. I will tell you, our hotel that they put us in is right next to is it Kelly's Olympia? That old like biker bar?
Kelly's Olympian, yeah.
I go there every time. And then there's a special, I haven't gotten it yet, but it's an Evan Williams shot and a Pabst Blue Ribbon for $8. And I just look at that and I go, that's a great deal. But it's a fun place to go. It's it's like a block away from where I stay. So that's always a routine stop for me. And then usually during the day, I don't think we'll have as much time to do it this time. Walking around downtown, there's this cat soup place. We go to the Nines. We have breakfast up there, me and Dunny. It's our routine. We have a Portland routine, and we love it. And if we have a lot of time, we'll go up to get some gear at the Adidas store or the Nike store. So I love it. I know you talk about these transplants from LA. I might be one of them one day. I love Oregon and Portland, and I would go up to Bend. It's a beautiful place. I promise I'll be on my best behavior if that day ever comes. But it's a great place to go. And just flying up there on the coast is just brilliant. So Portland is right at the top of our road trips for me.
I'll be at the game. I'll come say hi to you, bud. I did not expect you to call out Kelly's Olympian. That's the highlight of the show this year, my man. You made it.
Come on over. Pay a visit.
He is Max Bretos. He'll be on the call tomorrow on MLS, Apple TV. Timbers take on LAFC, a 1:30 kick. Pregame, or 1:45 kick, excuse me. Pregame will start for us on the radio at 12:45. Have a great call tomorrow, amigo. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch up down the road.
Thanks, Harris. Anytime.
That is Max Bretos. Like I said, he'll be on the call. What an awesome dude. 20-year-old Patrick trying to understand how this stupid European game worked. Max was a good guy for me to watch and listen to. Been an ambassador of the game for a long time, and you'll love his call if you end up catching TV side. Let's get out of here. Let's get into Web Gems. The story of the Masters so far is not somebody playing good. It's somebody who's struggling. We'll go there next. 105.1 The Fan. All right, this Web Gems, everybody's favorite. We do it every single day at 11:45, but we also give you a preview of the Big Nooner. Is this NBA superstar finally coming out of their shell? We will touch on Blazers Clippers tonight. Borderline playoff game. Closing argument sends you on your way. And we'll chat about the Masters on a grand scale. But Web Gems does come to you from Augusta National. As if you listen to the Sunrise guys this morning, they were having a great time at the expense of old poor Robert McIntyre, who yesterday had a pretty rough day on the course. He was caught on camera with some birds directed at courses. I love thinking that because the Masters is the same course every single year, that each hole is an entity, is an actual person, and Robert McIntyre is literally mad at that person. It just happens to be a non-sentient being. I heard something yesterday on the broadcast that was like, after he had like it was his triple bogey, and they said quadruple, excuse me, thank you. And the television, the commentator said something like, "Man, you just hope this doesn't wreck his entire season." His entire season? Like, I hope it doesn't wreck his weekend. You think this is done? You think that we're just going to call 2026 a wash?
You think quadruple is as many as you can hit on a golf course?
Because you had one bad round at the Masters? We're hang it up for 26? Call it a day? We're adios in this bitch.
He did it on the 15th green. He still got 2 more holes after that.
Oh, man, dude. It's wild to see how many people kind of just struggle at this course. We'll talk about the good things that are going on, but Bubba Watson has won this thing, and he's a +7 right now. Vijay Singh, he's older, but he's done this. He's a +8. You can get got at any time on this course. Zach Johnson is +6. He's won this thing. You can get got on this thing. And take J.J. Spawn, for example, who is projected to just miss the cut right now. There's something special about it that not only does it bring out the greatness, and we'll get to that in the Big Nooner, but it can also bring out the evil demons. It can also get you when you're not paying attention, because that's why it's considered the greatest course in the world. And for someone like Bob McIntyre, who, let's see, he's having an okay day today. He is -1, I believe. Let's see here on the day. Yeah, there he is.
Tied for 67th at +7, but he's -1 on the day through 14.
And today he double bogeyed the first hole, but then birdie on 3, birdie on 4, birdie on 7. You're like, all right, let's pick this bitch up. Bogey on 11, birdie on 12, birdie on 15.
Dang it, Bobby Mack.
I know, dude. And it's so funny because like I laughed. Like, we're going to get rid of his whole season because of one bad day. I mean, golf can be like that. It's such a heady game. Look, all these guys can make the chips. All these guys can make the drives. All these guys can make the putts. It's where's your brain?
And this is the brightest of the lights. Again, all the championships, it all leads up to this. This is the big one. This is the one where all the eyes are on you. Can you handle it?
Can you handle it? And some guys can and some guys can't. I mean, I'm here for the epic meltdowns. You see it in like tennis a lot too when they destroy the racket. I want to see someone start destroying clubs. The problem is they respect the course too much.
I want to see at least a broken club. Just one over the knee.
Mm-hmm. Something to the point where you can't use it for the rest of the weekend because you're just hosed on it.
I think we'll have to wait for Saturday for that. Because Saturday and Sunday,
that's my day.
I think that's the days where you've already seen the course twice. If you're not making any changes or you're making the same mistakes as you were on, Thursday, Friday, the energy is going to bubble over.
Yes, it will. Did you see Jack? Jack almost killed somebody yesterday.
Jordan Spieth nearly killed someone today.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday when we were talking about favorite holes. That's why I kind of love the holes at the Masters that don't have a ton of crowd around it, that feels secluded, because it feels very elitist on the surface. But I think if you're in like a good group, like, say you like everybody that you're with, and you kind of get back there and it's just you three, your 3 caddies, and like,
again, the
Masters official.
The group of Justin Rose, Brooks Koepka, and Chris Goddard.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And you're just in this quiet area. The azaleas are looking pretty, and you can focus until you put it in the drink.
And Jordan Spieth is right behind you guys.
Uh-oh. Bobby McIntyre just put it in the water.
Oh, Bobby Mack.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. That's impossible. He is on the 15th, right? I believe. If that's correct. No, he is on the 16th right now. Just put it in the drink.
For the last time, would you please stay off my friggin' grass?
Oh, he's doing it.
Oh, buddy.
Tough
Look,
break.
Look, I don't want to make fun of the guy too much because it ain't like I'm going out there and doing something. The water hazard. At least he gets to take another shot, though. Remember yesterday? 10 toes down? I'll go swimming rather than go to the beach. Because in the beach, I'll lie to myself.
Again, he shot an 80 yesterday. That is still one stroke better than my best round that I've ever posted.
Yes. I have never golfed. Davis Riley also hit an 80 today. Let's see. Some guys that I don't really know about had some big scores yesterday. Mike Weir, he had an 81 yesterday. That's not a bueno. There's McIntyre's 80, dude. He's going the wrong direction today, too. Brian Harmon had a 79 yesterday, but he's -3 today, so that's helpful. It's easy to blow up. That's just the thing. And I think water terrifies me more than sand. I mean, not really. I would rather swim than lie in sand. But from golf, water's scary.
Not fun to be in the water.
Wreck your day real quick. Turn things upside down real quick.
Now, what did I do wrong?
All right, let's get into the big nooner. Let's stop talking about the negative here. Let's get into the positives. We'll give you a Masters update. You'll catch some of that in Casey's update, and we'll kind of look at there's some guys that are having some really, really nice days. We'll jump into that, plus we'll talk a little NBA as well. This is Portland Sports Leader, The Firm, on 105.1 The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by the Nike Hoop Summit, coming to the Moda Center on April 11th. See the USA take on the world in an epic doubleheader. For discount tickets, use promo code FAN20-26. First on the Fan, Day 2 of the Masters is underway. Some important tee times for you earlier today as your Day 1 co-leader, Sam Burns, he teed off just after 9:30 as he has crept his way back into second place. Dropped a few shots there, but worked his way back to even as he sits at -5. Rory McIlroy, he's making a run away with it. He currently sits at 8 under through 4. And Tyrell Hatton, he's a new name today as he has crept his way onto the leaderboard, now in 4th at -6 for the day and -4 overall. Scotty Scheffler, he has worked his way back to 1 under after starting the day 2 over. And Xander Schauffele as well, he has worked himself back to 2 under, currently sitting at even on the day. Your Portland Trailblazers, they are in a battle for the 8th seed in the Western Conference tonight as they will host the Los Angeles Clippers inside the Moda Center at 7 p.m. 2 games remaining on the regular season schedule for the Blazers as they will be without Jeremy Grant and Damian Lillard, while Vit Krejci and Shaedon Sharpe, they are listed as questionable coming into tonight. Your Portland Timbers, they are back in action on the road tomorrow facing off against LAFC. Timbers are 1-4-1 on the season as they come into the match as significant underdogs. You can catch that entire game right here on 105.1 The Fan when pregame starts at 12:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of dirt and spray.
One to go here. The firm of Harrison Meringue. We do this bad boy every single Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thank you for being a part of our day. We are stoked to be a part of yours. Danny's out at Hoop Summit. He'll be back on Monday, so it's just me and Casey holding down the fort, which is very similar to what's going on in my house right now. My wife and my middle daughter both have influenza A and have been quarantined for days.
Wash them hands, folks.
My middle girl, she was sleepwalking, hallucinating, and did not know who her mom was. At that point, I said, Mom, should we go to the hospital? I haven't seen my wife in days. Meanwhile, I got the other 2 kids, and I'm mowing the lawn, washing the dishes, cooking dinner, and Danny's out. Just doing it all, man.
You're just solo dolo.
Solo dolo in my life.
I won't leave you. Don't worry.
But we've been okay, dude. We're in high spirits, man. We're good. I'm going to make food tonight for dinner. House is pretty damn clean. The yard is looking good. I'm definitely going to go have some beers after the show today. And then I'm going to get home. I'm going to sit in my yard and do a little bit of weeding, some relax lawn work, catch the rest of the Masters, and sail into the weekend. Big game for the Timbers this weekend. I'm excited. I'll be there at the stadium. If you see me, say hi. But let's get into the Masters. And don't forget, you can join us June 23rd as Toyota presents the Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club. Foursomes are on sale now. Choose between the morning or afternoon rounds, but get those in soon because they do fill up fast. It's the best day in golf, especially here for the Fan in the Northwest. We'll give you activations, tastings all around the course. The infamous Angels Envy Bourbon Par 3 6th hole. I'll be out there, Dirt, Sprague, Danny Meringue, Luke Anderson, Isaac, and Jason Sukanik all posted up to make fun of you or say, depending on what you give us. You can head to 1051thefan.com, click on the Fan Golf Classic logo for more information and sign up today. And, of course, we can't thank our wonderful, wonderful friends. It's presented by Toyota, also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Maestro Dobel Tequila, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, our friends on this show, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, and Window Nation all across the board. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Speaking of that, we're hanging out here in the Masters. The projected cut right now is looking at +4. The names currently able to make the cut, should it just stop right now, are absolutely unbelievable. I don't know, and maybe this is just kind of like recency bias. I don't know if I've seen a cut with this many names. Patrick Cantlay.
It's loaded.
Somehow Bryson DeChambeau has survived. Cam Smith. Let's see. John Rahm, Keegan Bradley, Siwoo Kim, Sergio Garcia, Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa, Matt Fitzpatrick, Gary Woodland, Justin Thomas, Adam Scott, Dustin Johnson, Cameron Young, Hideki Matsuyama, Harris English, Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Ludwig Aberg, Tommy Fleetwood. I'm just at the -1 guys right now. Max Homa, Xander Schauffele, Akshay Bhatia, Jason Day, Shane Lowry, Brooks Koepka, Goddard, Patrick Reed, Wyndham Clark, Justin Rose, and where we'll start, Rory McIlroy has come with authority.
He's coming to play.
This is why I do not gamble, my friend. He is -3 through 4 holes today. I had the sneaky little fun gamble, if you really wanted to, of Rory not making the cut. Rory has played this course so tense because he's been chasing it for so long that I thought this year might be a waving hands, kissing babies, telling stories, and like not hyper-focused. Like,
lost in the minutia.
Yeah, not saying take the year off, but just like you don't have that super drive because you finally got that monkey off the back. Steve Young finally won a Super Bowl, didn't win another one. And I'm not saying that's why, but I think sometimes when you have that enormous amount of pressure, as Rory just bogeyed, honestly, when you have that enormous amount of pressure, when it's alleviated, does that change your drive, your determination? Rory, day 1, day 2, 'tis not.
Again, on the other side of it, Justin Rose.
And he's my guy. He's the guy I'm rooting for.
That's what my worry was, is that when I bet on him, I'd usually think that he would go the opposite route and start pressing and start spraying some balls into the crowd. But he's hanging it in there. Like, he's -5 through 17 right now.
I really want to see Justin Rose do this. He seems like just an amazing dude. He hosts the purse for the women's tournament before, I believe it's before the Open Championship. No one's finished more in second place than he has in majors.
3-time runner-up Masters.
I know, like I want him to get it so bad. He's so good for the game. He's so fun. The problem is he just, he started around the time as Tiger and Phil and had to deal with those guys. Those guys finally disappeared. He's playing some of the best golf in his life, and the game's never been better than it is now. And that just makes it tough. Patrick Reed is stuck in it. He's a former Masters champ. To your point in your update, Tyrell Hatton was a -6 today. I think at one point he was a -7. Let me see his scorecard real quick. Yeah, he bogeyed the 18th because other than that, he was a -7 today. That'll put you into contention real quick. Sam Burns having a little bit of comeback to Jesus moment. Today on the course, he was -5 yesterday. He's got a birdie and a bogey, so he's even on the day. I think the story so far, honestly, is probably Scotty Scheffler. Scotty is not having a great day so far. He's been all over the place. He's got 4 bogeys and 2 birdies, put 1 in the water. It's tough to say. I mean, Scotty's a little like Rory, but a little different too in the sense that nothing seems to ever phase Scotty Scheffler.
As long as Scotty is within reach on Sunday, I'm not worried about him.
And I think, to your point, I agree. He's even. Rory's -8.
That's not quite reachable in one day.
Not in one day, but it is in 2. Do you expect Rory to shoot a 67 all 4 days? I don't. And that's no poop on Rory.
And do you expect Scotty to go out there and shoot a 74?
No, I don't.
That's
I don't.
the big
It's
thing.
somewhere that comes in the middle. And it'll be interesting to see, especially on tomorrow. We'll circle back on this on Monday when we find out the eventual Masters champion. But, boy, this is going to come down to it. What's your parlay you have going, Casey?
I've got Justin Rose, Scotty Scheffler, and Xander Schauffele all to finish top 10.
Justin Rose, Xander Schauffele, and Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler is tied for 21st. He's even right now. Xander Schauffele, he's tied for 12th at -2. And Justin Rose is your second leader at -5.
Rufio saying this on the YouTube chat, and this is something that I agree with a ton. Scotty is trying to feel out some scenarios. Rory needs to finish -12 or Scotty wins. I don't know if it's necessarily that per se, but I do truly believe that Scotty Scheffler shows up to these things, looks around, tries to eliminate mistakes. Today's a little uncharacteristic, but Scotty shows up and kind of looks around and goes, okay, what are people missing on? What are people making? I'll try and play mistake-free golf, and then on Friday, definitely Saturday, and look out Sunday, that's when I'll make a run. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody that gives me that vibe.
You got to put him in cuffs to stop Scotty on
Yeah,
Sunday.
I feel like there are probably dudes that make just as great adjustments to their golf game throughout any tournament or major, especially the Masters. But I don't know if I've ever seen it so blatantly from such a mild-mannered, calm, quote-unquote boring-looking dude like Scotty. He feels smarter than the room sometimes. He feels more patient than the room sometimes.
It's almost that serial killer vibes where he's the guy standing off in the corner just scanning the room, seeing all the angles and the exits.
I mean, don't forget, he went to jail and shot fairly well that day. It fell apart in the next few days. But, like, you're in jail, amigo, and you are taking swings to stay loose, and you're able to stay focused. And Danny brings this up all the time, too. It's also fascinating because he has said it's his faith number 1, it's his family number 2, it's golf number 3. All those dudes, look, Justin Rose seems like an awesome dude, all right? Golf's number 1. Okay? Rory had a weird career, sometimes doesn't always seem like the most likable guy. Golf is number 1. And then you take a guy like Bryson DeChambeau, who I don't think golf is number 1. I think Bryson DeChambeau is number 1. And then it's golf. And that can bite you in the ass, too.
I think that's one of the more dangerous things to do is in golf is get caught in the ego.
Mm-hmm.
When you get caught in the ego, then you start, I guess, pressing the expectation on yourself. And then you're not just playing free golf.
And that's kind of what I was saying about Rory, is I was curious if the ego, while heightened but more relaxed, would we be that weird focused tension thing?
I think Rory loves it. I think Rory needs ego because that gives him his edge.
If Rory,
otherwise, he's just the nice Englishman or the nice Irishman who doesn't really scare people in terms of game.
If Rory wins the Masters this year, it will do what?
I think cement him.
You don't think he's already cemented?
I think he's very underrated in terms of his career. I think he's a very slept-on, just overall golfer. Because you have to take everything into account.
Had a good run in the middle, and then
a few chokes. But what is this?
Take some gray hair to get his Masters green jacket.
This is just if he outright wins the Masters this year, this is just dominance for 4 rounds.
Then you're talking about when you say cement with the all-times.
I wouldn't say all-times, but all-time great.
It'd be a huge win for him.
Yeah.
It'd be a huge win for him. And I can just see him like, we saw how emotional he was last year when he won. I feel like if he were to win this year, he would just probably giggle. He'd be like, now I'm rattling off green jackets. Now I'm the best.
I bet it's a little bit of a shocking aspect to him as well. Like him realizing, this is my stride. This is it. I maybe thought it was 10 years ago, and I thought I might have been losing it during a little bit of runs when I was choking a lot, but maybe this is it.
Maybe this is it. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's see. Your leader is Rory McIlroy. He is on the 5th hole. Had a weird, or I think he's on the 6th, excuse me. He's on the 6th hole. Had a weird tee shot on the 5th, so let's see if he can recoup and keep the power going. We'll keep you updated on that throughout the rest of the show. When we come back, let's slide into the NBA. There's a superstar who's starting to kind of show some personality that I didn't expect to see, and how exciting that is for him this late in his career. I'm Patrick. That's Casey over there. This is your sports leader, 105.1 The Fan. New Strokes album coming out. I'm very excited about that. I like that group a lot. I own a lot of their stuff on vinyl. Their last one was really, really good. Well, you know, the NFL draft is right around the corner, and Pittsburgh's getting ready to welcome the nation to the unofficial beginning of football season, and the city's kickoff celebration will be an unforgettable invite-only night of music. It's called The Night Before, and it takes place Wednesday, April 22nd at the Rivers Casino Event Center. Going to feature Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Prophet. You can enter this national contest, and prize includes round-trip airfare, 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show. Visit odyssey.com/thenightbefore to enter now for your chance to win. Talk a little Blazers, LA Clippers, basically a playoff game. We'll talk about that here in a moment as the Masters rolls on as well. But do you ever get that moment, Casey, when you kind of like see a professional athlete that is kind of changing the perception of them as a character? You know, Danny has gone on the record and said that he kind of likes Bryson DeChambeau right now. I think that's one of the most par for the course, pun intended, comments I've ever heard from Danny Meringue. But he thinks he's become more likable, and like we're rooting for him.
I definitely think he has become more likable.
He's become less jerky, that's for sure. He's trying to like goof off, and I know he does like he does YouTube hits or something with celebrities and golf and that kind of stuff. But there's a player in the NBA who's trying to kind of figure that out, and that's old street clothes himself. Anthony Davis has been kind of doing some of the rounds lately, and it's been very fascinating to see this because my only real knock on Anthony Davis, outside of just of the fact that he's not available all the time, hence the nickname Street Clothes, is that despite being one of the most physically gifted basketball players we've ever seen in his frame and his abilities, especially dribbling the ball, like his ball handling skills for being a man that size are extremely underrated. He never really wanted the smoke. He never really wanted to be the leader of a team. I think he really loved playing with LeBron because that was clearly going to be LeBron's thing. You know, I saw him with my own eyes when he was on the Pelicans here against the Blazers in the playoffs. Having Rajon Rondo and Drew Holiday on that team allows him to not step up and be the leader. Now, there's two things going on with him right now. He has been very vocal about the Luka Doncic trade. I think the quote was when he found out Luka was traded to the Lakers, he goes, wait, that had to have been for me then, right? And voicing his frustration about not being told, like, hey, man, heads up, you're a part of this deal. And that just goes to show back to why that whole deal is such an absolute disaster, that nobody a part of it, including Luka, including AD, including the rest of the league, Shams, all the insiders, nobody had any intel on it. And I kind of felt bad for Anthony Davis in that situation. Look, he got hosed, and he gets to Dallas, and I don't know if you really want to look around and be like, you know, my knees are kind of crappy as it is. Am I really going to bust my ass to get in this team who's going to be real garbage?
That's the one thing that doesn't make me feel as bad for Anthony Davis, because I feel bad for Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson worked his way back from injury, and then the Luka trade happened.
Yeah, you're
thinking that he was going to get to play alongside Luka again. Luka next to a spot-up shooter like Klay Thompson, that's more opportunity for Klay Thompson. If Luka doesn't like the spot or doesn't like the opportunity at the shot, that's a 30-point night for Klay.
And I might think, to your point, I might think to myself, you know, Rob Pelinka calls me and says, I'm Anthony Davis, and says, hey, you're going to Dallas. And it's like, whoa, Dallas is really pushing this. I can't wait to play with Luka. Oh, no. Luka's going the other way. Oh. That's what we've learned in the NBA. Anybody can get traded. And I think everybody around the league, you know, you've seen the Kevin Durant reactions, the Steph Curry, Draymond reactions, how everybody was like, what? They did what? That now you feel that being a part of that has to be something completely else. We keep talking about Luka and how shocked he was in the trade. We're not always thinking about how Anthony Davis probably felt in that moment. Like, you are now jettisoned. Oh, by the way, Dallas is going to flip you as well and send you to the Wizards. Like, we don't even want you. We just needed you to facilitate this Luka trade. We wanted Malik Beasley. Now, a cool thing about Anthony Davis, he is letting his hair down, so to speak. He has now got some new, like, prank show Did you see this?
Yep.
He's got like a prank show. It's him and LeBron. Boy, they got Draymond Green pretty tough the other day.
That was a great clip.
Draymond Green, he's in some like business sales pitch meeting, and it gets to the point where Draymond gets up and gives one of those, "Oh, hell no. You said what to me?" And he looks like, look, that's a dangerous guy to mess with in that kind of atmosphere because Draymond might hit you. And can you imagine one of those actors getting hit by Draymond Green?
Yes, I can.
I know exactly. But that's a side of AD. And maybe AD is now at a point where he has kind of said, I'm considered one of the greatest players of all time. I live in Kentucky lore. I've got a chip. Going to the Hall of Fame. My body's starting to slow down a little bit. The Lakers have completely rebooted. I've got to figure out my new place in this league because I don't want to play center. It's too hard and tiresome on my body.
I've been in the NBA for 14 seasons.
Maybe it's time for me to just kind of like smell the roses a little bit. Not necessarily like mail it in, but kind of realize your lot in life. That maybe he's got a 2-year deal out there for him on maybe a middling contender.
Again, he's 33 years old. How many people are playing till they're LeBron?
Nobody.
So few.
Nobody.
So few.
Nobody. I'll tell you what, if Anthony Davis is a free agent on the market, you don't got to play center for this Portland Trailblazer team. That's Donovan Clingan. I'll take you down here. If you want to be a shooter, I'm cool with that.
Come play the 4?
Come play the 4. Fine by me. That'd be nice. I think it's just really cool, and I'm glad to see a guy who, when he came into the league, he kind of embraced the unibrow.
It's the brow, baby.
He kind of embraced like being poked and teased a little bit. And it was also very honest that he didn't want to be the main guy or the leader of a squad. And now that I just hope that as crappy it is that he got traded from the Lakers, he's able to look around and remind himself that he had a really nice career and laugh about it and pull pranks on his buddies and be a part of what's going to be a very interesting retired generation.
I very much think this is Anthony Davis going, all right, the writing's on the wall. My opportunity for championships is, again, lessened a lot in the last few years. I think I'm going to just do my thing.
Yeah, the retired guys right now, we lost Kobe, which stinks because I was really excited to see Kobe talk about the game as he was an old man, like 60-year-old Kobe, talk about basketball. But we have Shaq and we have Charles and, there's the Matt Barnes.
Don't you dare forget my Melo.
And Carmelo and Vince Carter and, Matt Barnes and has the smoke.
And T-Mac.
And T-Mac, yeah, like that generation are the old guys now. Say what you want about Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, and Kendrick Perkins per se. This next generation of the old guys, and I'll throw AD in that world as well, of Steph, LeBron, KD, etc. That's going to be a very interesting group to see age next to the game.
100%, especially with AD, because I think AD is one of those first stars that we really saw develop all the way through the college system. So I think that's a really just important because he has a very different, upbringing to the NBA than the generation before.
Totally.
The generation before was the one and dones, fresh out of high school. I'm just the best player in my region, so I'm going to get elevated to the spot.
Oh, well, Anthony Davis is a one and done.
Yeah, but again, he still was very dominant at Kentucky during Kentucky's run. That was the Kentucky run. That's why I say that he's not necessarily in that generation of the one and dones, because he was a part of something that was being built in college basketball.
Freshman, the National Player of the Year as a freshman, #1 overall pick. They did win a natty, right? He's on that natty team. I believe so, right? Yes. Led it to their 8th national championship.
Yep, 2011-2012 season over Kentucky.
Yes.
Over Kansas.
That is the Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is on that team. That was an absolutely loaded Kentucky team.
See, that's why I don't necessarily, because again, Kentucky was built for a lot of success.
They really were. And that is the penultimate team. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, he went 2nd overall out of Kentucky.
Yeah, they had Terrence Jones.
Terrence Jones
out of Portland.
Shout
Michael
outs.
Kidd-Gilchrist, Thomas Robinson. that team was pretty good.
That team was pretty stinking good. Well, good luck to you, AD. You'll be remembered fondly, even if you have the most, offensive nickname possible in street clothes. I mean, I think it kind of sounds cool, but once you realize the connotation, it is not cool.
It's better than his nickname for a few years, which was Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass, yes. When we come back, the Blazers are effectively hosting a playoff game tonight. I'm surprised the NBA didn't flex this in. We'll go there next. There's Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, day 2 of the Masters is underway. A leaderboard update for you as Rory McIlroy sits atop the leaderboard at 7 under. Justin Rose is trailing him as he is wrapped up with his day, finishing 5 under in his total score, wrapping up the day at 3 under. Sam Burns, he was your day 1 co-leader. He has finished at even on the day, still remaining at 5 under. Jason Day as well as at 5 under. And your former Oregon Duck, Wyndham Clark, he's made his way up the leaderboard. He is now sitting at 4 under as he wrapped up his second round. Tyrell Hatton has crept his way into the leaderboard. He is now sitting at 4 under after finishing the day at 6 under. Your Portland Trailblazers, they are in a battle for the 8th seed in the Western Conference as they will host the Los Angeles Clippers inside the Moda Center tonight at 7 p.m. 2 games remaining for the Blazers on their regular season schedule as they will be without Jeremy Grant and Damian Lillard, while Vit Krejci and Shaedon Sharpe, they are listed as questionable coming into tonight's game. And wrapping up, your Portland Timbers are back in action on the road tomorrow, facing off against LAFC. Timbers are 1-4-1 on the season as they come into the match as significant underdogs. You can catch the entire game right here on 105.1 The Fan when pregame starts at 12:45. And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour.
The nightmare's over for Bobby McIntyre as his day has come to an end. How fast do you think he gets out of Augusta?
First flight out.
Is he splurging for the PJ? Can I get on a PJ in the next 45 minutes?
That's I've texted my assistant. Bring the club carrier. Put it in the car. We're packing up in the trunk.
What hole did he decide to splurge on the PJ to get the hell out of Dodge?
16, 17.
Dare I say the double bogey to open on one?
Could have been.
Oh, God, no. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Definitely the water later on. Poor guy. Scotty just finished up the day. Even. +2 on the day. Weird day for Scotty. Really inconsistent, which is uncharacteristic.
Just need to be reachable by Sunday.
That's it. Tonight, okay? Is tonight a playoff game? Kind of feels like a little bit, doesn't it? Oh, did you just give me a look like stop, loser?
It doesn't have any playoff juice. I don't know what we're trying to distract ourselves from.
You don't get the juice out of it? Is this a manufactured juice?
This is definitely manufactured juice.
Okay. This is Sunny D and not orange juice?
Oh, this is not Tropicana. This is Delight Extreme.
Sugar-free Sunny Delight? You're like, wait a sec. Sugar's the best part of that. Why would I want sugar-free? The Blazers will take on the Clippers tonight. There's a lot of interesting angles about this game, obviously. There's play-in seeding jockeying going on. I'm surprised this isn't, I don't know, though, like flexing rules and stuff, but I'm surprised this didn't kind of maybe get some thought to flex in. The prime bid tonight is Minnesota-Houston. I think we kind of already know where they're going to be in the standings.
Yeah, that'll be the better game, though.
Did you just divulge the not secret that the Blazers Clippers game tonight is going to be a rough watch?
Yep.
I'm with you, amigo. I'm done. I said this the other day. I don't remember if it was with Danny or if he was at Hoop Summit that day, but like I am so exhausted from this season. And it's not, that it's like my first year of really like covering them extensively or anything like that. It's just been a season unlike any other.
It's a season of
And you're right at a crossroads where things can go one way or the other, and everyone has an opinion on it. We all have what we want, what we think's going to happen, and what we don't want, yet none of those questions are going to be answered for at least 2 more months.
And I guarantee you Clippers fans feel the same exact way about their organization.
Yeah, but I bet you they look at the Blazers and they go, yeah, we got Kawhi, we're fine. You don't think so?
Kawhi becomes a free agent next year.
Oh, what if they, and with that whole aspiration, I don't think it's next year. I think he's got one more deal.
I believe it's after the 2027 year?
Which would be next year.
Okay, yep.
So, I mean, unless they negate his contract, do the aspiration stuff. But they can offer him the Supermax down there too, which I think it's easy to say that Kawhi Leonard likes money.
Fair assessment.
They also have Darius Garland, who I'd be stoked about. If I was a Clipper fan, I'd be real stoked that I have Darius Garland. I don't know what to expect from this game tonight. Look, Denny will do Denny things. I'm going to watch Donovan. He's going to be the guy I watch tonight. I want to know, Because if he has another kind of rough offensive game, then I'm going to fully live in the camp that I think he's just kind of gassed. And he's a young kid who could barely play 20 minutes a game last year, who's damn near, I don't know what he's officially averaging, but it feels like right at 30, if not more. And if he's hit the edge, he's hit the edge. And as far as the Vit Krejci, Shaedon Sharpe situation upgraded to questionable, what you got?
Donovan's averaging about 27.2 minutes.
Oh, lower than I thought. I thought it was going to be around 29 and change. Still, that's a big jump from him last year.
Again, his last 6 games, 28 minutes, 30 minutes, 22, 29, 21, 32.
And when it comes to Shaedon Sharpe tonight, all right, let's have this conversation. As Bob says on the YouTube chat, I've been over the season for a while now, but if Shea comes back, it has some juice for me. And I guess that's what I'm confused about. You know, I'm not sure why Shaedon has some juice in the sense that, look, I am not as critical on Shaedon Sharpe as maybe my co-host might be. I don't think this team is going anywhere this year. And as much as I really enjoy watching Shaedon play and his level of athleticism is sometimes mind-blowing, I don't know if I need that quick hit, you know? I don't know if I need that dopamine push to watch him play tonight. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't either as a fan. I think we want to see all our guys play. I have just said this for the last week or two, and I still am going to sit by it. Shaedon Sharpe and Jeremy Grant are too damn valuable.
Why?
In any way, shape, or form, whether they play here, don't play here, get traded, or play half the season and get traded, whatever it is, those two are too valuable for me to risk a game that you just said, Casey, has no juice to it. If we don't think, no matter how the seedings shake out, that the Blazers are going to make it into the 7 or the 8 seed, which I don't think they will, then why take the risk tonight? It's like you're losing by 30 and you have Joe Burrow and it's the last week of the season. Put him on the bench.
Do you want Shaedon Sharpe just because of the optics of how the game might look with him?
I think
the style of play?
I think that's what they want. Yeah, that Shaedon's exciting, and there's still a lot of question marks. Look, I am more pro, as I've said. I'm more pro about Shaedon Sharpe than my co-host Danny is. And I think it's because I get into that baby Kobe, that athleticism, jump out of the gym, going full horizontal while dunking on dudes. Like, I get really excited about that. And when he's on, his brand of basketball is really electrifying to me. Now, he's got to figure out how to be consistent. He's got to figure out a little more creation for some of his teammates, be a little more efficient of a shooter from downtown. But he's 22, 23 years old. He's got a long way to go, and he's under a very team-friendly deal. So, yes, I think that's where it lives, that people get excited because when he's playing, it gives you a little more to watch. However, that to me, for this game and for probably the next 3-4 games of the season, it's not worth it to me.
I'm with you there.
I love watching Shaedon, and I want to see, like I said, ton of questions still in Shaedon. It's just not worth it.
Again, I'd rather be the Riddler, have a suit filled with question marks, than know exactly what I need to do and option Shaedon somewhere.
Yeah, Bob's not the only one who wants to see Shaedon play tonight. I think most of the fan base wants to see him play tonight. But God forbid he goes out there and pops his Achilles. What's the conversation going to be like on Monday? Was that worth it?
Nope.
And if he had like an oblique issue or you know a knee tendonitis, I know that's not something to like joke about, or a concussion or something like that, I can get that. But the calf strain, we've seen time and time and time in this league, leads to Achilles. And that puts you on the shelf for 18 months maybe. Now, I know you've got the weird whatever Tatum's doing and Howie's path back and Dame's path back are showing you that there's a myriad of ways to do this. But that would be an epic and complete disaster if that were to go down. And to have the chance to get blown out by OKC or San Antonio, it ain't worth it to me. He is too damn valuable.
I think if you're going to have those same questions at the end of the season, regardless of if he's playing these final 2 games or not, it's not worth it.
And to people that think that, you know, this could be something that proves why Shaedon Sharpe should be a Blazer next year, bro, 2-3 games is what you're going to put his future on.
Way too small of a sample size.
Way too much. If The powers that be are judging a player based on their 3 games left in the season, whether or not they should be here next year. Bro, I don't want you evaluating this team. Even if you're right or wrong, I don't want you evaluating this team. If Joe Cronin doesn't know, now who knows if Joe's going to be the GM next year or years going past. If Joe Cronin doesn't know what he thinks about Shaedon Sharpe going forward, he's in a world of hurt. Should have never signed a contract, probably already should have been dealt, etc. There's nothing, and I repeat, nothing in the next 3-4 games that can tell me whether or not Shaedon should be here or not. I've already made up my mind.
Agreed.
I like Shaedon. I would love for him to be here. I want to give him the runway. I want to see him continue progress and be one of the greatest players of all time. If he is part of a deal, it's Denny Avdia is the same way to me. If he's a part of a deal that makes this team exponentially better, thank you for your time. I'll remember you fondly.
I always have issues when organizations option away their young talent, and their young talent obviously will then go on to produce in accelerated rates elsewhere.
Blazers
don't make that mistake.
Blazers will take on the Kings this weekend as well, as that will finish up the regular season. You would assume they handle business against the Kings. You would assume. I know that's a large assumption. LA tonight, the Kings on Sunday. We'll know the fate come Monday. And get ready for the play-in game. Should be some action. I haven't seen the schedule yet, but I'm sure it's next week. And we'll talk plenty of it because they're going to the play-in game no matter what. And they're guaranteed to host a game here in Portland. We'll just see when and where and who it happens. When we come back, closing arguments to send you on your way.
It's time for Easy Play, brought to you by Home Z, making home improvement easy.
In transition, now stops on the right wing, gets it to Bronny James on that right wing, who flips it across to Hachimura. Left wing 3, wide open look. He gets that one to fall. Timeout Steve Kerr as the Lakers lead expands to 5. Lakers leading 44-39 with 4:16 to go in the first half.
That's ESPN LA, Rui Hachimura. You know I love me some Rui. That's a GU legend right there. Helping out the Lakers. Look, they're going to need it. There was a comment made by LeBron James the other day. They asked him, how are you going to do this without Luka and Austin Reeves? And he said, be like the old days, which is code for I'm going to have to do it all. It'd be nice if Rui bails him out too. This Easy Play brought to you by Homesy. Use Homesy's online calculator to estimate your project instantly. Make it easy. Call Homesy. That's Homze. Homesy.com.
We just finished.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Closing Arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information. Should be a great little weekend. Danny will be back on Monday, so we'll get the whole fam bam back together again. And maybe we'll throw a party. Maybe we'll have some fun, exciting news officially next week for this fine program.
We'll have our Masters winner.
We'll have a Masters winner. We'll know the fate of the Blazers as far as the play-in go. Joel Freeland, I have now changed my status hearing Joel Freeland on the Sunrise Guys this morning. If the Blazers make the playoffs, he has to get rid of his Wallflowers tickets. I secretly, really desperately want those. I am now texting anyone and everyone that I can find because I've never met Joel. He seems like a great dude. I'm a big fan of his work, but I've never met him. But I got real mad when he said the Wallflowers. It's the 30th anniversary of their big CD that came out back in the 90s. And I was like, you mean Bring You Down the Horse? You mean a top 5 album of my entire life? You know, I know every lyric to every single song on every single one of those. And tickets on the secondary market are going for like $400. How I missed out on this is beyond my imagination. So now, for completely selfish reasons, this is where Bad Guy Patrick comes out. You mess with like my concert viewing, the tickets that I want.
Praying on the downfall now.
Now I'm praying for the Blazers to go to the playoffs despite being against everything I just said for the last 3 weeks. Simply so I can reach out to Freeman and say, hey man, I don't know you, but I would love your tickets.
Kind of worth it.
Kind of worth it. I do appreciate you listeners out there helping me out with different suggestions on who to talk to about to get my my stereo system fixed. Now, to be fair, it doesn't need to be fixed. I just know that it could be serviced, which is such a weird phrasing. Have you ever thought about that phrasing? I need to be serviced. That really only goes one way in my brain. And I'm not a gutter brain guy. That goes one way in my brain. On the text line, 503-864-6326. And I kind of agree with this. You're tripping if you think Rory isn't already cemented as an all-time great. Career Grand Slam, enough said. I think that's correct. I think you're talking about Jack, Watson, Player, Couples,
Mickelson,
Tiger, Mickelson, Scotty, Rory.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he needs one more big win for me.
One more big win? He's won them all.
But he's choked.
He has choked a lot.
Just as many as he's won.
He has choked a lot. I think I'm with the texter, though. I think I'm okay putting Rory in the conversation. Like he is not Jack. He is not Arnie. But I think he can sit at their table.
Is Lamar Jackson a top 5 quarterback if he wins the Super Bowl next year?
Maybe.
And that's Rory McIlroy for you.
Wow, dude.
It's time to nut up or shut up.
That shot me right in the kisser, dude. Lamar Jackson would have a Super Bowl, most likely be the MVP, and would have 2 regular season MVPs. Who's got regular season MVPs and a Super Bowl? That's like Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning. Ooh, baby.
You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying. So Rory is the guy without the Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying?
He's got the one Masters win.
He's got the career Grand Slam, bro. He did win in Ireland. Is that cheating?
That's home cooking. That's not.
It's not cheating, but it is a little home cooking. Tough guy. Yeah, I think that's what's so tough about it, which is probably what made the Masters so exhilarating last year. Is he looked like he was never going to get it, and he had such a promising start.
Everyone was betting on Justin Rose.
And Justin Rose, well, I think the world loves Rory. My father-in-law loves Rory. I know Rob gleams about him. Everybody loves Rory McIlroy. It's really hard to be anti-Justin Rose, who's 2 strokes back of Rory right now. Rory's still 7 under through 7, so it'll be nice to have an afternoon with some, I'm going to have some Friday brewskis after this show and catch a little bit of the Masters.
The sun is out.
The sun is out. I got my guns out. We're ready to go. All right, y'all. Have a great, wonderful weekend. As I said, Dan will be back on Monday from Hoop Summit. And hopefully my house gets healthy. And I'm going to get some sleep this weekend. I'll see you at the park tomorrow, Providence Park. Kick at 1:45. Pregame starts at 12:45. Casey will be on the board. I'll be up in the media booth. Maybe I'll come down and finagle with all my peeps down there. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. For Casey Smith, I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.